Hello, this is Lars Mihalovic, and I'm just going to go through my critical AI facial recognition project. Um, yeah, on terms of the projects, I've only got the two. The first one is basically consisting of the milestone, while the second one is sort of something entirely new that I decided to sort of experiment and try out on Python. So, Yeah, the first one, just a quick summary. So yeah, it was the first design. It was capable of only just capturing a single frame on camera. So it would just compare whatever is sort of seen on the camera into its database. So that could be like a wide selection of pictures. And it was, yeah, meant to have motion initially, but there were some problems with the coding. So yeah, just a quick summary again. So the showcase sort of like, yeah, it was able to sort of have a very high accuracy on terms of sort of comparing the pictures, which is something that I'm going to sort of bring into discussion with Project B because I believe there is a bit of a sort of a fault with Project B, although it does have something that sort of this project doesn't have, which I will sort of get into detail very shortly. But yeah, so basically, even when on the mobile phone, yeah, it's sort of still able to recognize all of that same stuff, sort of from the milestone. And just a sort of like a reflection. Sort of, I just wanted to sort of reflect on this one and sort of figure out what I was going to do with the next. So first of all, the frame, the next one, like it needed to sort of be in motion. Otherwise, it would sort of not exactly capture what I was sort of seeking out. On terms of the display, yeah, the writing would sort of overlap, and also just the color red wasn't exactly a great approach, I believe. So I think with this next one, I think it's green, but I could be wrong. Anyways, yeah, it didn't. This one didn't exactly have like a proper argument, I suppose. So that's something that I sort of wanted to have for the next project, sort of like a purpose towards, because like I guess with the beginning of this, I sort of had the idea that I wanted to sort of raise awareness and also sort of create an AI that would sort of recognize the person successfully using a database. But thing is with this one is you sort of have to actually take photos of yourself sort of manually and do all of that just to add it to the database. So it's sort of a bit of a hassle. But that's where Project B comes into play. So just a summary. So it was my next approach and design idea, and it would sort of have the purpose of preventing sort of accusations or transportation problems. So that could sort of involve, I guess, the Thingo not really recognizing you because sort of like the AI isn't exactly too reliable or the accusation. So you sort of have a database for the AI to sort of look towards. Um, Also, sort of with this model, there's a few steps that sort of have to be done. Those will be sort of taken into account in detail in the next slide here. So just a showcase for this one. So it's divided into multiple parts. The first part is the face taker, which will basically ask for the username, or not the username, but just the name of the person in general. And it will actually sort of take 30 pictures automatically. It won't just be like the full actual screen. It's just going to be whatever sort of like the camera describes or sees as an actual like sort of picks up as a face. So yeah, 30 pictures will be taken automatically upon sort of running the face taker Python folder or file. The second is training it. To be completely honest, I did a bit of research on this. I still don't understand it too well, but from what I can sort of understand is that basically it's sort of yeah, processing all the pictures and then taking into account sort of to compare them, I suppose, or something like that. Anyway, we have lastly the result, which is sort of yeah, this one's actually in full motion as well, so it's not just a still frame. but as you can see here, it's only 66%. So the accuracy is sort of where the downfall of this project sort of stems from. There is a Project B live showcase here as well that I'm going to play right now. So I'm just going to be covering my Project B here. So this one's sort of made up of multiple sections here. So this is where the names inputted are listed. Here, this is where the pictures of the face will be taken. Here is where it gets trained, and this is where the camera will show up and it'll sort of do a facial recognition. So I decided to go with this approach mainly because I thought, it sort of needs a purpose, and I thought it'd be cool to have an actual database that you can actually sort of easily add info into instead of like constantly adding a new selection of pictures. The AI does it itself, and I thought it'd be pretty cool, mainly towards sort of like solving any like accusations and stuff like that, so people sort of have their own selection of images. Um, Even if I guess the AI fails it, then you've still got that selection of pictures that like obviously sort of show that you're different from someone else. Moving along anyway. So here we have the face taker. So if we run this, at the bottom here, it's going to ask for my name. So let's just put down Laz. So the moment you click enter, it'll start taking pictures. So it'll take roughly around 30, and it'll sort of be a box of where it believes is the face. So if I open this now and go over to images, we can see here that it's taken 30 pictures of my face. Um, so with that, we go over to here to the face train. We train that up. So now, that face has been trained for the information. And then we have the facial recognition area. So if we load this up, the camera should pop up like so. Here we go. So to be honest, this one's a bit weird because I'm not like entirely sure how accurate it is. So if I turn my face around, it knows who I am, and it sort of knows to recognize me, but I'm actually looking forward, it doesn't. So I'm not entirely sure what's up with that. On terms of accuracy as well, it's definitely not as high as the previous one. So I think if I could sort of get the other one to move, then I think that would be a lot more accurate for the case. But I thought that this one was still pretty interesting to bring up, since it was sort of one of the more recent ones anyway. So yeah, that's that. I'd like to cover my Project B reflection. So understandably, there's still quite a lot that I'd like to sort of do with this project. First of all, the accuracy is definitely the most important one, because when comparing with the collected database and myself, the result wasn't exactly as high as I would have hoped. So the design problem that I'm trying to solve is like sort of avoid the accusations and passport difficulties isn't exactly what I'd want it to be. Improving the user interface, I did try to initially add a frame around the actual sort of like the camera view, although I was having too much trouble with that, unfortunately. So that's something that I sort of had to cut. And also I really wanted to sort of make a viewpoint, so change the camera from my laptop over to my phone, because I thought that would be very interesting to try. But again, I had no luck with that. Python's pretty tricky in coding as well, so all of this I'm very new with. But in terms of sort of bringing up the actual, I guess, design problem that I initially had was to sort of stop AI discrimination. Um, it's sort of half-half with what I've done, in the sense that like it's able to sort of recognize me. I've sort of made a system where it picks like you'll actually have sort of like your name present. There's also like the username system and all that. but I sort of didn't exactly have the chance to sort of test it with other people as well, unfortunately. So it's sort of hard to say at this point whether it was a success or not. Lastly, just a few reflections. This one was sort of, yeah, looking at some more face detection stuff with Python. Same with this one here and that one. I believe, yeah, sorry, the second one is sort of just adding a border to the video, but I never really got around to sort of being able to do that. Thank you very much. That's all.